Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Germany is a tyranny. You don't think it's a tyranny? Okay, well, Marco Rubio also says it. Must be true, right? J.D. Vance said a new Berlin Wall was erected over there in Germany. Why? Germany pretends to be a democratic country. And, sometimes lectures other countries, smaller countries, weaker countries, with democracy and freedom of speech, when Germany actually will ban Alternative for Deutschland. It's a party who is deemed extremist by the secret police to protect you from the wrong ideas. Now, the ideas is a fight against ideas, because ideas automatically will turn into actions. Correct? Correct. And who is the arbiter? History? All right. I have to confess that history did not start 80 years ago in Germany, okay? All right, so what's going on over here? I'm going to discuss the ridiculous situation, pathetic situation in Germany. It's a tyranny. They are about to ban a party, and then you have the winning parties through democratic vote forming a coalition. The problem is those two parties are on the right and the socialists, as I said before. And I will discuss how you cannot insult the people who elected you, who voted for you, because otherwise they would have voted for the other side. So what do we have here? We're going to see how Alternative for Deutschland was banned almost, was deemed extremist, clearly. Next one, they will ban it. When in Germany, when you are deemed extremist as a group, the German government, through its secret police, legally can listen to everything, infiltrate you, and basically they are monitoring you like a baby. Legally. But hey, there's the democracy over there, because you can't say certain things in Germany without going to prison. Say certain things, like denying that the moon has a diameter of 6 million meters. Okay? You cannot deny that. That's it. So let's start with the Americans' reaction to the new developments in Germany. I was almost lost my life here. All right, let's start with the first article. I'm going to go chronologically. So we have Alternative for Deutschland is quote-unquote extremist, German intel agency, and the country's most popular party. That means most people like what these guys say. Has denounced the designation as a severe blow to democracy. Well, do something about it. So there you go. German's domestic intelligence agency, that is like FBI or the secret police, has officially designated the right-wing Alternative for Deutschland, AfD, as an extremist party. The designation comes despite the AfD leading national opinion polls. So what this means, I told you, they will listen and infiltrate these guys. So let's see what the Americans are saying about that. Germany is, and I'm quoting, tyranny in disguise. Rubio, the US Secretary of State at that point, has slammed Berlin for labeling the biggest opposition party in the country as extremist. Germany just gave its spy agency new powers to surveil the opposition. Rubio wrote on X, that's not democracy, it's tyranny in disguise. All right, next one. We have Vance, the vice president. Germany has rebuilt the Berlin Wall. The US vice president has slammed attempts to destroy the anti-immigration AfD party. This is what he said. On Friday, Germany's domestic intelligence agency, the BfV, classified the anti-immigration AfD as an extremist organization, citing xenophobic, anti-minority, Islamophobic, and anti-Muslim statements made by leading party officials. The label enables police to closely monitor the party's activities, and I'm quoting, "The AfD is the most popular party in Germany and by far the most representative in East Germany. Now the bureaucrats try to destroy it. The West tore down the Berlin Wall together and it has been rebuilt, not by the Soviets or the Russians, but by the German establishment. So what do you think, my friends? Is it true? I said it for some time already. Hey, I'm not over. Let's go to the next one. And the next one is the response. Berlin rejects Rubio's accusation of tyranny in disguise. The German Foreign Ministry insists that the Domestic Security Service's recent decision to designate the AfD party as extremist is democratic. Well, the German Foreign Ministry is unelected. The Security Service is unelected. The judges usually are unelected. Where's the freaking democracy? Oh, we have laws, right, made by the elected Democrats. Berlin has rebutted U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's characterization of Germany as tyranny in disguise after right-wing Alternative for Deutschland party was officially designated as extremist. In a post on X on Friday, the Foreign Ministry wrote that Foreign Ministry is the infantile Annalena Baerbock's ministry. The Green, the Communists, remember. This is democracy, they say. This decision is the result of a thorough and independent investigation to protect our Constitution and the rule of law. The Constitution doesn't need to be protected if it really works. When these guys say we should defend democracy by banning things, that means democracy doesn't work. I mean, you need to defend it? That means there are groups over there that if they grow so big, they don't want democracy. So why do you want to defend something that is obvious? You can say, well, you know what, we're going to, how should I put it, prevent the sun from shining. It's so obvious that the sun will shine. Why do you try to protect? No, it shouldn't. Let it be. No? So if democracy is the best system, we're told, it is because we humans realized that. So it becomes something natural. You don't have to defend something natural, do you? Otherwise, that means it's not the best option. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a tyranny is the best option. For some, it is. Now, what if people in a society vote to become a tyranny? Through democratic vote. Can they do that? No. But then where's the freedom of speech? Where's the freedom of choice? Where's the democracy? Democracy is not something that you impose. That's the whole point. Whatever the society as a whole wants, that's what's going to be. These guys try to protect the constitution from being changed by someone through democratic vote. If these guys come into power and they go in the Bundestag, is it Bundestag? They go over there and they say, I was about to say Bundeswehr. That's the defense ministry or the army. If they go in the Bundestag and they change it democratically, let's say 2/3 of the people vote, so be it. If they want tomorrow Adolf to be, on the flag over there, that's the people's will. That's the whole point with democracy, we're told. But they say, no, democracy we use only on these things. On the other things, democracy is not workable in those ideas. So that's what basically these imbeciles say. Next one. And we have Scholz. Remember, Scholz lost the elections. But his party, I don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to be in the government again? Scholz says this, and he's not saying this because he's all of a sudden a lover of democracy. Here is what he said. Don't rush to ban AfD. Now, he doesn't say don't ban. Don't rush to ban. That means slowly. You are getting ahead of your skis. This kind of revolution can have a blowback. No blowjob, blowback. So take it easier. That's his advice. He's not don't ban it. You're too fast. You're moving too fast. The same thing with these guys when they sent weapons to Ukraine. The West, let's say the Americans. They used my mountain slope, how do you call it? Not theorem, but idea. And this is the way it works. You do it slowly. You don't go straight from, we're going to send them tanks. We're going to send Ukrainians F-16s. The model, the mountain slope model, is like this. You slowly do it. Why? You have to get people used to the idea. First they said they will not send anything. No, we'll not send tanks no tanks. They did this with every little weapon the Americans sent. Remember, they sent the Javelins, and then Then they sent the howitzers, then they sent the armored vehicles, then they sent the, what they sent then? The HIMARS, then they sent the Patriots, then they sent the tanks, Abrams 1, then they sent F-16s. What's next? Troops on the ground and nuclear weapons. And each and every time they use the mountain slope model, which is, we're going to say, no, we're not going to send them tanks, no. But use this to each and every weapon they send, no tanks. And then they say, well, usually an elected official, a retired something that has no authority. Usually it's 99% of the time when they have a former general or something. Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to do this. And then the media picks it up, certain media. Oh, should we? No, that would escalate. No. And then they bring experts, those PhDs and all those analysts, and they say, yeah, I think it would be okay. I mean, after all, so they make the point. And then the White House, no, we're not even discussing this. It's not the right time. No. And then after a while, White House is thinking of doing this. After you have officials, unelected officials, or some senators saying, yeah, we should do this, the White House comes and says, yeah, we're going to do it. And they did it each and every time. So this is what Mr. Scholz is referring to. Don't rush. He doesn't say don't ban, don't rush to ban. That's what this guy, don't get him as, oh my God, he likes democracy. BS. Next one. And this gets me to the second part of this video, which has to do with how a coalition of extremes form a government against the boogeyman, Alternative for Deutschland. Let me show you. It's just unbelievable. Right here. Sputnik, 5 hours ago, today on the 5th of May. Germany's CDU/CSU and SPD signed coalition agreement to form new cabinet of ministers. Now, what do you think these guys are? They say that they are the conservatives, and these guys, they say, are the socialists. Remember, this Merz, supposedly, he's a conservative. He's not a conservative. He is a globalist, together with all these baboons right here. Yeah, you still look German, my friends, but pretty soon all this will be changed. I guarantee you that. You screwed your country big fucking time. So, what's going on? So, these guys, and I'm going to show you, the conservatives, together with the socialists, is like, as I said, the capitalists form the same government with the communists. That's exactly the same thing. And I said this many times before when I referred to one book over there. It's exactly what that one over there. Talking about this. I will talk about it in a minute. Let me tell you who these guys are. I'm going to show you who these guys are. Germany's Christian Democratic Union. These are supposedly the conservatives going to send weapons to another country, which is Ukraine. And Christian Social Union, Bloc, these are the guys together, the conservatives. And the Social Democratic Party, these are the socialists, the communists, have signed a coalition agreement to form a new cabinet of ministers. You got it? German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has said. And this is Scholz leaving. My friends, let me show you who these guys are. Who is the Social Democratic Party of Germany? Right there. All I need to do is show you here. Where is it? Young socialists in the SPD. You got it? This is what they are. Right here. European affiliation. Party of European Socialists. Rest my case with these fuckers. And these are not bad. These are just, they are over there. These are bad. These are bad because they agree to do this. Instead of doing the right thing and get these guys. But they received an order. These guys are on the right. Now, these guys are on the right. The coalition is on the right. These guys are their enemies in everything. Social Democratic Party of Germany is the enemy of these guys. Who they form a coalition? The enemies are forming a coalition. Why? Because these guys are worse. These guys are capitalists, just so you know. This is the same thing that happened in the Second World War when the capitalists attacked other capitalists. And then when the communists attacked, they didn't declare war on the communists. So when the Germans invaded Poland, Germany was a capitalist country. Unless you are eager to say it was a socialist because of the Socialist Workers' Party. And then you get, so Nazism was on the left. Okay? So then it was a capitalist country. It was declared war by capitalist country Great Britain and France. When the communists did the same thing as the capitalist country did to the and as a tyrant as Stalin, okay, the same thing they did to Poland, invaded Poland. The same capitalist countries did not care. They were allied with the communists against the capitalists. You got that? And after the war, they gave the communists half of Europe to the communists. Sounds fine. You know why? Look at many Zelensky Steins in Soviet Union, and you want to find the answer. So let's look who the Christians are. The Christians, right there. Christian Democratic Union of Germany. Christian Democratic Union of Germany, Christlich Demokratische Union Deutschland, okay, is a conservative party, political party. And the other ones, the coalition, is formed by the Conservative Political Alliance, Christian Democratic Party. So these are conservative right here, ideology, conservatism, right there, my friends. Alliance, international democracy union. So, let me tell you about that guy over there, who I know is a criminal, the worst guy in the world, the evilest, whatever. If a criminal gives me an advice that I see that is going to save my life or my family, I will take it, regardless if a criminal or not. All right, just so you know, I don't kill the messenger. I get the idea. So that's why when you say, well, who said that, man? Who said that? It doesn't really matter who said that. It's what he said or she said. The idea matters. No, I think it was Einstein who said that. No, I think it was Nietzsche. Okay, that's an extra. What he said matters. If it was a good guy, bad guy, had mistresses, or was a homosexual, or doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So what that guy said over there? He said, well, this is why democracy is bad. Because, and he was against, obviously, democracy. Okay? And he said, because in a democracy, people hide their accountability or responsibility under the numbers. And then he said, I hate, he can hate, we can hate. I didn't say hate, I dislike, probably that was the word he used. When you see the coalition between parties, he said, how can you have a coalition with two parties that have different ideologies? In this case, you have opposite enemy. That tells you something else greater than this, that orders these guys to do that. So I said, how can you have this? Because people who voted, let's see, if I have, let's say, 10 parties, and I look and say, that party, let me read this platform, political platform, that party, that party, and I say, I identify with this one right here. Let's say I'm on the right, not on the left, on the right. That means I'm very far away from the left. Communism, capitalism. Wild and wild. Right? So I'm saying I'm on the, let's say I'm on this side right here. When I vote for these guys, I vote because I want their ideas, my idea be represented, my needs, my way of life, my worldview be represented by these guys in the government and push my way of life, not that way of life. Now, when these guys are getting these guys in as ministers, I'm thinking, so that means 50-50? That means the communists will have some ministers. So they will be in charge of some ministries, departments. Let's say they are in the finance department. They will be the ones, or the economy. Or let's say, I don't know, whatever it is. Yellen. What was the Yellen? I always forget that department. With the money, with the economy. And there are the communists in charge of that. That means they will shape it based on their ideology, which they exactly opposes why I voted for the guys on the right. So these are my enemies, allowed by my elected officials to do what? And the same is for the other guy. That's treason at the party level. So a communist sees himself forming a government with a capitalist? How can that be? What kind of education? Who's going to be in charge of our youth? Jungen. Who's going to be in charge of our education? The communists, and they will create the curriculum to go to the left, or going to be the capitalism, the Democrats who will say, no, we want like this. How are our children going to be regimented? Communist or capitalist? There's no in between. There's clearly over there socialists, and the other ones are the center center, capitalist, conservative. And the other ones are further. Which is closer? If you're so this is the center. I'm going to make it towards you, okay? So this is right, and this is left. It's my left. Okay, so this is right. So this is the conservatives. So this guys is from the spectrum. Political spectrum is like this. Center. Here goes right, that goes left for you, okay? So these are center. That means are right here. So let's divide it in 4 pieces. Right here is extreme, center, center of the political left or right, center of the left, the communist, and far, which is the communist socialist. That's what it is. All right, so we have here, these guys are center, supposedly capitalist, right? On your right, that is the CDU, fuck you. This is what it is, okay? So this is what supposedly they are. And they make a coalition with whom? With the socialists, which are not here, the center. They are to the margin. The last step, the last train station for the left is communism. That's the last one. Before that, a little bit here is the socialists. They're not in between. So here is 50%. These are 75%. The socialists are not at 25. Probably are at 10. Because at 0 is the communist. So these guys, look at the distance from, let's say, it's more than 50% distance between. It's 70% from 10, let's say, to 75. It's almost 60%. Right here, difference between this, the socialists, and the capitalists, the center, right? And these guys versus the alternative for Deutschland, even if I put the furthest here we told is the Nazis. These are not there yet, so I'm going to put them yet to 10. So that's 90%. 50, 75, 100 will be the Nazis, right? And then let's say are 90. So between 75 and 90, it's much closer, the affinity, than these guys with those guys over there. You got it? Who's in charge of these guys? Who told them that you have to affiliate yourself with the enemy, which is 65% away from you, which are the socialists from the center, okay? 75 minus 10, you got to 65. Instead of associating yourself from 75 to 90, which is what, 15 or something? You're 15 close to this guy, but you go to the one who's your enemy. It's an order. And the order is clearly the European Union is a tyranny right there. And Germany, forget about it, free speech. Go and tell them that, as I said, the moon's diameter is not 6 million meters. Let's say it's 6,000,001. You're denying the diameter that we agreed upon, but you can't challenge it. That's denying the diameter of the moon. Therefore, you're going to go to prison up to 5 years. Examples? I'm going to give you 2 examples. One, Mr. Zundel. The other one is Mr. Irving. And I can give you more. 70 years old people, 80 years old people who dare to say, well, I don't think it's that number. Even if you make it bigger or smaller, if you don't agree to the exact diameter, you're denying it. So what? Fuck you. I can deny whatever I want. If I say that you're not a human being, I should be allowed to say that with no consequences. I'm allowed to say that. Not in Deutschland. Deutschland über niemals. Fuck it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.